you brought up, how we relate to our teachers or coaches, and one of the things I wanted to just go into a little bit is, you see, for both you and I, we're people who submitted ourselves to a really, in many ways, very traditional guru-disciple relationship for, in my case, 13 years. In your case, I think it was, 15 or 17 years?
Yeah, 15.
Something like that. And we're in this time where the whole notion of spiritual authority is kind of the 300-pound gorilla in the room. Traditionally, it was always assumed that one needed a guru or a spiritual master to guide one along the path, yet now most of us postmoderns have a deep resistance to accepting any kind of authority, and particularly spiritual authority. And there's obviously a lot of reason for that, because many contemporary teachers have fallen into scandal or been shown to have feet of clay to a certain degree, so there's a lot of skepticism. And at the same time, without that higher guidance, it seems almost impossible to navigate this most subtle territory of authentic realization. So you, also like myself, you're someone who's attempting to pioneer new forms of spiritual mentorship that are outside of that traditional guru-disciple model, but that still ideally capture many of the needed elements for people who really need guidance but are not ready to go, join the ashram, so to speak, and probably for some good reasons and some, egoic reasons. But nonetheless, I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about what you've done with pioneering this new approach to mentorship in the form of integral coaching, and your experience of working with clients within this new framework, and how does it all fit together in your perspective?
First of all, I think we're in a very difficult time because even though the era of the great guru and the freedom to submit, has passed, and for very good reasons, we've seen the limits of uncritical submission to a spiritual authority. We lost something when we lost our ability to enter uncritically into that kind of submission. By really trusting a guru and giving over our choice and simply conforming ourselves to a will outside our own, many of us have been transformed so profoundly and so usefully. And I don't see people much interested in that in the same way lately. Mm-hmm. It's the whole climate has become so profoundly anti-guru and anti-spiritual authority that it doesn't seem possible quite in the same way. But it's only through awakened transmission that the path has even been created, and it's only been through submission to something beyond ourselves that we've ever been awakened. Now, I also, though, think that in the postmodern eras, we can no longer simply use the old forms. All the guru, master, roshi, lama forms of relationship evolved during traditional times, mostly anciently, and they addressed simpler people, simpler social dynamics. We can't just have a relationship like that because there are going to be too many places of cognitive dissonance. I don't care how cool your teacher is, there's going to be something or other where they have a blind spot. They're, even as utterly illumined, even though they may show up as God in a way that's transmissive and amazing, and they may be remarkable awakened beings of, deserving the most respect, they're not going to be able to hold every single aspect of your diverse, fast-changing experience. That's just not possible anymore. So I think that people who enter into a guru-disciple relationship might be well-served if they could have a relationship with somebody that has a very different set of presumptions. A professional relationship where there's no granting of your own authority to that other person, where they provide a professional service for a fee with clear agreements and a set of ethical guidelines that govern the way that's done. And I've become interested in working with people as a coach in just this way because I I think that we needed a new pedagogical role. That what was developing was an era in which people needed a whole team, in a way, of helpers at different times along the path. A therapist, perhaps a guru, at least a yoga teacher or a martial arts teacher, maybe a personal trainer. A variety of people might play roles, large or small, in helping people grow. And a coach who had some depth of realization and authenticity of practice, who could specifically help us in the evolutionary matter of growing to higher levels of consciousness, that was a role that hadn't actually been identified quite. And yet I think that the profession of coaching, which helps people with a whole variety of things, not all of which involve development to higher levels of consciousness, but that it's in that role as coach that I can serve people in a new way and pioneer a new role that I think is necessary, not in order to get rid of the old spiritual authority role, but in a way to make it safe to engage it.
Nice.